Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all good. In today's video we're opening December 4th of the Charlie's Nala advent calendar. If you have missed the previous videos then do check them out. I've been uploading daily since the December 1st, opening my Charlie's Nala calendar and then creating a little design using whatever is inside. So let's take a look and see what is in bag number 4. So for today's video, I'm going to be using the beautiful Unicorn AB Teardrop Gems. So these are flat back embellishments that you can use on top of acrylic, gel polish, builder gel, even nail varnish, I guess, whichever system you use. So I decided today I would use them in a gel polish design. So I'm going to come in with Kiki London's Pretty in Pink and I'm going to paint on my first coat of colour and then cure this for 30 seconds. Now I'm going to be completely honest, when I opened these I really had no design in mind. I don't really work with crystals too often or any kind of gems or embellishments. They're just not something I ever come up with ideas or designs for. Like I really struggle with inspiration when it comes to crystals and embellishments. So I just completely winged this design. I actually sat back for about 10 minutes thinking, what am I going to create? So let me know what you think in the comments below of the design that I come up with. Now, when I was looking at the crystals, because they have that unicorn pearlescent effect to them, I knew I wanted to do something like a pastel colour, and I'd already done a blue yesterday, so that was why I opted for pink. But I still wanted to keep the whole design with a winter theme because I wanted all of the designs I do for the advent calendar to be either winter or Christmas inspired. I wanted to also start off with a little bit of stamping. So here I've got my clear jelly stamper. I think this is the Christmas 05 plate. And then I've taken this really pretty mint green stamping polish, which is also from Clear Jelly Stamper. And I'm going to do the layered snowflake. So I'm doing the inner or the first layer of the snowflake to begin with. And one of the things I love about the Clear Jelly Stamper stamping polishes is they are very highly pigmented. So the colours stamp really pretty over other colours. You don't necessarily have to have them over a white base, which I really like. Some stamping polishes, the coloured ones can be a little bit transparent. So over certain colours, they don't look as nice, if that makes sense. But I haven't found that with any of the Clear Jelly Stamper polishes that I've tried. So I've stamped down the first layer of my snowflake and I'm going to be popping 2 of these snowflakes on the nail. So I'm going to clean off my stamping plate using some acetone and I'm just using a reusable cotton pad here to do that. Making sure to give it a good clean so that we can pick up that same image again and make sure that the plate itself is nice and clean. Otherwise your image never picks up as nice. So I always like to give it a thorough clean in between stamping each image. And as you can see, it's picked up absolutely beautifully. I'm just going to use my lint roller to remove any excess images that I've picked up that I don't want to press down onto the nail. I always find it's easier to remove these off the stamper rather than stamping them down and then removing them from the nail. So I'm going to pop this one down in the bottom and I wanted it to be slightly off the nail because I quite like that look, and I'm wanting to leave that center part of the nail quite empty because that's where we're going to be applying those crystals. So that's the first layer of our stamping done. I'm then going to do the outer layer of the snowflake. So here I'm using my Nicole Diary white stamping polish. Again, applying a generous amount. You really want to make sure you've got enough stamping polish to entirely cover the image. I've then scraped away the excess and I've just rolled over that stamping plate, and as you can see again it's picked up beautifully. I am also using the Clear Jelly Stamper too. So I'm just using the lint roller to clean off those excess pieces. Now this is where it can get a little bit tricky when you are layering stamping images. Although this is a fairly simple one, to be quite honest, it can be a little bit tricky to line up still. I used this plate last winter and I think after using it in a couple of sets, I finally got the hang of layering up the snowflake so it looked perfect. But this year it was a little bit of a struggle again. You will see I've got it as close as I can, but it's just those little green diamonds, they're not in the Snowflake as well as what they could be. It does just take practice. I think I definitely need a little bit more practice. So I'm going to do the same again on the lower Snowflake. And I have left all of today's video in real time again, so hopefully it helps you if you are having any problems with your stamping. Hopefully you're able to pick up some tips and tricks from seeing how I work. I get a lot of questions on one of my older stamping videos, and I try to help as much as I can, but sometimes it's easier to put it in a video than reply in a comment. So if there is anything you are struggling with, pop it below and I will see if I can help you guys out, maybe by showing how I do that particular step in a video. I'm by no means perfect at stamping. It did take me a while to get the hang of it, and I've only very recently got into the layered stamping plates. So I'm not perfect, but I went through lots of troubleshooting methods to get my images to stamp how they stamp now, which I'm fairly happy with. So that's why I'm always happy to help if there's any way that I can. So I've lined up that second snowflake as best as I can, and I was quite pleased with how this looked. I really loved how that mint green looked over the pink base. I'm then going to come in and seal all my stamping in with my Kiki London No Wipe top coat. Now I'm obviously still going to apply my crystals over the top of this, but whenever I'm working with stamping and I'm going to put something over the top, I always prefer to seal the stamping in first with a layer of top coat. So I'm just going to make sure that it's a really thin layer so that we don't end up with a too bulky nail. And I'm then going to pop that in to cure for 60 seconds. So here on my tray, I've popped down my unicorn teardrop shapes that we got in the advent calendar. I've also got some AB crystals and some caviar beads. So I'm going to be applying these using my Kiki London No Wipe rubber top coat. This is one of my favourite ways to apply crystals. I find the rubber top coat really sets them in place, very similar to how a jewellery gel works. Because it's that bit thicker, the crystals sink down into the top coat, and then when you cure them, it freezes those crystals in place. Now I definitely find it a lot easier than using a glue based product, but for some larger crystals I do still reach for the jewellery gel. Just a lot of the time I find the No Wipe rubber top coat the easiest way to do them, especially when I'm working on display tips. But saying that, even when I've done crystals on my own nails with the No Wipe rubber top coat, I found that they lasted really well. So I've popped down the layer of No Wipe top coat, No Wipe rubber top coat, and I haven't cured that, so I'm placing those crystals down into that wet top coat. I placed down the two teardrop ones to begin with, and I just made them into a bit of a heart shape. Like I said, I had no idea what to do with them, so I just completely winged this design. And then I'm just going to do two trails coming off with the AB crystals and the caviar beads. I did decide to speed this part of the video up because watching it back when it come to doing the voiceover, I was just so slow at applying the crystals. I felt as though it would be super boring to watch. But all I'm basically doing is popping those crystals down, and where you're popping them down into a wet top coat, you're able to move them around until you are happy with how they're all placed. They're not going to freeze into place or dry until you pop them into cure, so you can take as much time as you want positioning them until you're happy with them. Once I'd got the AB crystals down, I just filled in some of the gaps with the caviar beads. These caviar beads are also available at Charlie's Nail Art. Then I popped that in to cure for 60 seconds, and this, guys, was the finished result. So let me know what you thought in the comments below, and don't forget to head back to my channel tomorrow for day 5 of the Charlie's Nail Art Advent Calendar. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Lots of love, take care, bye bye.